Hello there. This is John Kremer live for the Facebook Book Marketing Q&A live. And again, if you want to join in, with questions, write questions and comments below. Write questions and comments below. So I'm going to start with a few questions that people have already asked. They sent in ahead of time. One was a very simple one. It was, what would you suggest I do to market this book? And it was one book written by a woman who's written three other novels, and now this is a fourth novel. Apparently, none of the novels have sold very well. So basically, what she needs to do is start selling some of the old ones or give them away because she's not selling them anyway. So why not sell them at a very low price, like 99 cents on Amazon? I think most of them were like $2.99 or $3.99, and possibly even give away one or two of those older novels to encourage people to read the new novel. That's what I would do. The other thing is, it's pretty obvious to me that with the author not having sold a lot of copies of the previous novels, that she hasn't done much work to actually create a relationship with other people, to create a relationship with other authors, other readers, people that love the kind of books that she writes. And she needs to do that if she hopes to sell the books. You know, it's one thing to put a book up onto Kindle, which she's done in all four cases, and hope people discover it. But reality is, with millions of books being published nowadays every year on Kindle, you need to help get that discovery going. And one way you do it is through your friendships, your relationships with readers, with website owners and bloggers that love the kind of books you write, and of course, with other writers that write books like yours. And you should be promoting each other's books. This author, I believe, probably has a very low online presence. I'm just going to check and see what her Alexa ranking is for her website. And welcome those of you who have found the live event here. So her Alexa ranking is 0. She has no backlinks, nothing. So she's created no relationships at all. So she has nobody sending traffic to her website. Nothing's been happening, and I don't know how long the website's been up. But she has to start creating some relationships because her books are 5 or 10 million rank on Amazon, which means that Amazon's never going to showcase her books until she does stuff to drive traffic to Amazon to get people to buy her books. She can't expect discovery to happen on its own. You have to make discovery happen. Again, write questions and comments if you have one. And they should show up here, but so far I don't see any, so I'm not sure. But okay, another question that came up. This is from another newsletter reader, who said, what format of ebook should I send to reviewers or as free gifts to friends? Well, I would start with the PDF because that's the easiest to create if you're using most book creation programs like Word or some of the fancier formatting ones. It's easy, generally speaking, to create a PDF. And so that's what I would send in the beginning. But I would always say, hey, if the PDF doesn't work for you, I can also send it to you as a Kindle ebook or as an EPUB ebook. So those are the things that I would potentially offer for them to give them the maximum choice in terms of what they would want. So I might send the PDF, but again, you don't ever send a PDF to media without asking ahead of time if they want it. Because I guarantee you what happens when I get an unsolicited PDF and I don't know the person, I'm going to delete that. I'm not going to open the PDF because of security concerns. I wouldn't open a Kindle ebook. I wouldn't open an EPUB either without you first asking me, can I send you my, a PDF version of my ebook so that you can see it and maybe you'll want to review it. Maybe you'll want to write about it, blah, blah, blah. If you're a consulting client of mine, if I know you and you send me something, I will open it. Generally speaking, unless I think your email has been spammed in some way and it's getting junk sent through your email. That rarely happens. I've seen it like 3 times in 20 years being online, but I have seen it. Uh, but generally speaking, if I'm getting something from somebody I know, and again, it doesn't have to be somebody I've met. It could be somebody that follows me on Facebook or follows me on Twitter and interacts with me and comments on something or, and so on. So I recognize their name and I go, oh, okay, they're sending me something. I will open it because you have established a relationship with me. It's a small relationship. I mean, if you comment on my Facebook post or you share them or you give it a heart or something like that, that's one thing. But I tend to watch the interaction that goes on. And so I tend to recognize the names of the people that are interacting with my social networks. And so I'm much more likely to open something from you because you have already established a relationship with me. Now, another question that came in is that Nook on Barnes & Noble, apparently in their content policy, prohibits inclusion of the following information in any book that they will distribute. Contact information for the author or the publisher, including website, hyperlinks of any kind, including email addresses. And to me, that's insane. I think that what's going on there, I can't even send them 1,001 ways to market your books without having that because I would have to delete, well, probably 300 to 400 links in the book. So Barnes & Noble wouldn't get me because I wouldn't do that. But the chances are they state that as a formal policy, but they don't mean it in the sense that they will not distribute you if you have it in there. What they don't want is those over promotional Kindle ebooks that have, link after link after link to buy something else from this person, buy something else, sign up for this, sign up for that, and all that kind of stuff, because that junkifies books. And but if it's useful information, for example, this woman plans, normal copyright page information. You have the publisher's address, you have your website. That's just standard book information. Barnes & Noble can't possibly be prohibiting that. I just don't see that as happening at all. And also because she also has a resource section with emails and websites to help the reader. And because the content is designed to help a reader, I can't see Barnes & Noble saying, no, we won't distribute this book. I don't know. I haven't looked into Barnes & Noble's, things to say, what their policy is. But, I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't do that. I think they do that in their content policy just to eliminate that kind of Kindle fluff that happens way too often with Kindle, where the ebook is just full of promotional links and buy this and buy that, and you'll lose weight if you buy this special program on another website and things like that. That's what I suspect, but I don't know for sure. Then a third question that this person asked is, when you're submitting a nonfiction book for distribution, is it better to turn digital right management, DRM, on or off to protect the content or to help the reader? Me, I always keep it off because I figure if some people are going to steal my work, they're going to find a way to steal it no matter what digital right management stuff is there. And, you find there are websites that feature people's books all the time. It's it's sort of sad. But the reality is, it's a very, very small portion of people that will try to steal your book or give it away to somebody else. And I'd much rather make it really easy for people who buy my book to be able to read it without going through, what's my password, what email did I use when I bought this book, et cetera, which is what typical digital rights management software does. And I certainly wouldn't want to do that and make people face that kind of thing. Now, I don't know. I'm going to just check over at Facebook and see if anybody's writing any questions. Okay, I don't see it right here, right now. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see what this shows. Oh, it looks like there might have been a couple comments here. Okay, we did get a couple comments. Now, they were supposed to, I'm using BeLive.tv to run this, and the comments are supposed to come in live, but for some reason they're not. So I'm looking at them on Facebook. Ronald has asked a question. What about effective marketing on Amazon for both print and Kindle books? Oh, no, this is from a previous one. Oh, well. I guess I'll answer some of these. And I did answer it to some extent in the previous one, but in terms of effective marketing on Amazon for both print and Kindle, the best promotion you can do, there's two things you can do. You can encourage your friends to write positive reviews on your book page, and or buyers, people that have bought from you directly. And it never hurts to even put it in the front of your book for the Kindle version, especially saying, hey, I'm sure you're going to love this book. And when you get done reading it, could you please leave a comment on on Amazon so other people can benefit from the same book you're benefiting from right now. Something like that in your book. Ask them for a review. A second thing you can do within that context is when you ask for the review, you say, when you send me your review on Amazon, and alert me that you reviewed me on Amazon, I will send you a free special report, chart, graphic, video, audio, whatever you want to offer them as a bonus for giving you a good review on Amazon. And again, you could even say it doesn't even have to be good. It just has to be honest. And to me, that's fine. I love an honest review over a good review any day, because an honest review is going to be better than a good review. We can think of it as good review and honest, better review. And in my experience, that's generally speaking the case. So I'd rather have an honest review than a good review. The third thing that you can actually do on Amazon is you can buy ads now on Amazon to advertise your book on other people's book pages. And you can actually pick some of the criteria that you would use, keywords and things like that, so that your book would show up on the pages of related authors. So let's say that you did a book like Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Well, one of your keyword terms might be Men Are From Mars. Another one might be Women Are From Venus. And other ones might be relationship help, love and relationships, other kinds of keywords like that, so that people looking for Men Are From Mars will likely also be interested in your book, and Amazon will showcase your book on those other pages if your book starts to sell. Now, Amazon isn't going to showcase your book, sorry, my nose itched there, isn't going to showcase your book if it's not selling. They won't even accept your ad in that case, probably. Or if they do accept it, they'll tell you, look, we're not putting it anywhere because the book doesn't sell when we have put it up. If you want to pay us more, maybe we'll do something more. So, you can check it out. I think it's at advertising.amazon.com or something like that. I believe I mentioned it in one of the previous ones that I did. The most important thing you can do, though, for your book on Amazon is promote it off of Amazon. Not only on your website and your social networks, but ask other people to help promote your book on their social networks, on their blogs, on their websites, on their YouTube videos, on their podcasts, anything like that, where you get an opportunity to be interviewed. I mean, I think the best author promotion out there, bar none, I think, is being interviewed in a Skype interview, a Google Hangout, a Facebook Live, a YouTube video, a podcast, anything like that. Interviews can make a lot of difference in the sale of your book because they actually get to hear you interact with people, and at the same time, they get a chance to, they trust the person that's interviewing you. So if somebody has a podcast and people are listening to it on a regular basis, when that person says, hey, John has a great book, you should buy it, some of the people are going to take that as enough of a certification of this is a book worth buying that they will go out and buy it, even though they don't, know that much about you, don't know much about your book, but because their friend, the person they follow, said go out and buy it, that's good enough for a lot of people to go out and buy a book. I've done it many times when somebody said, hey, you should really read this book. You should buy this book. When a friend tells me that, or somebody that I respect tells me that, I'm going to pay attention to it. So if I'm listening to a podcast, looking at a video, and somebody's saying something like that, I'm going to pay attention to it. Now, another person said, what are the pros and cons of having video clips embedded in a book? And quite honestly, I don't know if there are any specific pros and cons. In most cases, you really can't. You can embed it the URL and then send people to watch the video. There is a relatively new Kindle version, multimedia Kindle ebook version that you can do that actually allows you to add video or audio into your book so that somebody can play it within the Kindle ebook and play the video, play the audio, and so on. I think, yes, that's valuable. The main drawback to that is that it makes the book more expensive for Amazon to deliver. So that Kindle ebook version with multimedia in it actually, and if you're selling it for the same price as the Kindle ebook without multimedia, you'll actually make less money with the multimedia ebook unless you charge more for it, because it's going to cost Amazon more to deliver it because it takes more bandwidth. And they charge, basically, they'll tell you how much they'll charge. And at some point in the next, maybe in the next newsletter I do, I'll actually write about that program and how you can get that program. So if you want to do multimedia and Kindle ebooks, you can do that. You can also, of course, embed video and audio into PDF. But again, it makes the file bigger. It makes it more expensive for you to ship if you're shipping it, or more expensive for somebody else to ship it if they're shipping it. And I believe you can do the same with some EPUB versions. I'm not sure with which versions. I haven't checked that out yet. So the main disadvantage is that it costs a little bit more for delivery. The main advantage is a person stays inside your book to watch the video or listen to the audio, so they can continue, if they want to, reading the book as they listen to the audio or listen to the video as they continue to read the book. Now, I don't necessarily recommend people read like that, but I've done it on occasion, and it certainly works okay if that's what you want. The other thing, though, is it does increase the value of your book when you have video and audio within the book. And it makes more people aware of it. And, hey, I think I finally got my first question live here. Somebody finally figured out how to comment and send me a question. So what's the best way to give your book for free on Kindle for a limited time? Should I give away for one weekend or a whole week? That's actually not the right question to ask. The question is, who do you have promoting the book, and what kind of time limit do they want on it? Because if you're the only person promoting your giveaway, you're going to find that it's empty. But if you're buying some $10, $25 advertising space in some of these free websites, and if you actually go to my website at bookmarketingbestsellers.com, I'm going to type the link into here so that you can see it. I list 223 websites and Facebook pages that you can you can either get a review or buy space. And I think it'll show up that, yeah, but it's not going to stay there for very long. So I'm going to write it again so you have a chance. But if you go to bookmarketingbestsellers.com, it's right over there on the right side menu where it'll say 223. I keep adding them. It started off as like 45 websites, and now it's up to 223 websites where you can offer your book for free or for a limited time. So the answer to your question, I would tend to do it one day at a time or 2 days at a time, so that I can, as I pick up more promotional partners or find other ebook sites, giveaway sites that I can promote my book on, that will give me, increased exposure. And one that Greg asks is KDROI effective tool. I have heard that some people say it is, so you could certainly try it. And there are some others that are pretty effective. And in that listing that I shared with you, I'll share it again. I do give some comments, and some of them that people have said are most effective. And so you may find that that's a valuable way to get exposure for your free ebook. But better yet, besides all these websites, is your friends and any JV partners you have, and anybody that loves you who will share your giveaway on that day. If you can arrange for them on that day or 2 days or a week if you want. But I would tend to do 2 days at a time for several reasons. One is, if you spread it out over 5 days, you don't get the same impact on Amazon in terms of credit for the books that are sold in a small space of time. So I would tend to do 1 day or 2 days at max, and then do another promotion, because you can give away through the Kindle Select program, you can give away your book 5 days out of 90 days, or the first 90 days. So I would spread it out a little bit. I would probably do 2, 1, 2, something like that. 2 days, 1 day, 2 days. Again, depending on the partners that I have. Now, the whole purpose of a giveaway is to get additional visibility on Amazon and increase the possibility that people will talk about your book, will actually read the book, and then tell other people about it. Now, the disadvantage of a giveaway is that I can quite honestly say that I've picked up a lot of free Kindle ebooks, and I've only read 2 of them. So you didn't get any word of mouth from me because I never got around to reading them. That's one reason why it's better if if somebody's paying 99 cents for it. So let's say that you have a book that you normally charge $7.99 for on Kindle. Well, you could lower the price to 99 cents and offer that special discounted price, just as I did recently, taking my 1,001 Ways to Market Your Books Real World Edition, which I normally sell even in the Kindle version at $27.95. It's now on sale at $7.95, I think, or $7.97 on Amazon Kindle, and it will be for at least another day or two. So go right now and get it. But that's one way you can promote a book, and still, most people think of 99 cents as being basically free. So I'm happy with that. Somebody else asked, well, what do you think about Kindle countdown deals in Kindle Unlimited? Uh, I haven't tested it yet, and I haven't heard of anybody who's tested it. So if you do test it, Lynn, let me know, because I'm always interested in real world experience, what's worked for people. I'd much rather know that than something that somebody just claims to be the truth, but they don't have any real world experience with it. So again, if you want to ask a question, you can ask in the comments below. I said I'd go on for about 45 minutes, and the reason I said 45 minutes is that seems to be the limit for BeLive.tv interacting with Facebook Live. So that's why the last time I did a Q&A session, it just stopped at 45 minutes or 46 minutes. So I figure there must be a limit. So that's why I said it. Okay, I have a romance reader page here on Facebook. My readers respond well to the countdown deals. Well, great. Then what do I think of them? I think great. Because that means that people are buying because there's a deal. And Lynn, if you could give me some numbers in terms of that, that would be great to find out, and I'd love to share it with other people. So if you have a romance novel, Lynn Jordan is somebody you want to know on Facebook, because she has a romance reader page. So you can check it out, and maybe she'll say something. And she just said it's a ticking clock, and I think it's my ticking clock. But we still got at least 15 minutes of live for anybody who wants to ask a question yet or make a comment. That's fine. This is something I'd like to do on a regular basis if people like it. And right now I don't know enough. Excuse me. Because, like right now it's telling me that 6 people are watching. And I don't know if that's just, the ticking clock on the countdown page is what makes people respond, because it's going tick, 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 tick. So anyway, I'm not sure whether or not I want to do Facebook Live if I'm getting 6 people when I'm mailing it to 38,000 people. And I think to some extent that's because people haven't really figured out how to do Facebook Live, except they stumble into it sometimes. Stumble into listening to somebody else's Facebook Live. So it's possible that I might switch to doing more Q&A via audio podcast. That's fun to do, and I enjoy doing it, and it's a fairly easy thing to do. I will put this Facebook Live video into audio as well and post it to my website. But it will also, of course, be on Facebook for people who want to see it there. But I will be sharing this video on my bookmarketingbestsellers.com website as well, as part of my podcast series. And this is just a longer audio pet. Greg has a question. Do Facebook ads work? Everybody that's used them effectively tells me it does. I haven't actually used them yet. And that's just because I haven't gotten around to it. I think it's very effective from the people that I've seen use it. And I see a lot of people advertising over and over again on it, so I know it's working for them. You have to be, I would say, bid low to start, and if you're not getting any response, if you're not getting the action that you want to have happen, then you decide, do I raise it and get more people coming, or what? If you pay more for the ad, Facebook will send it to more people. But you have to make sure that it's going to pay off for you. And that's the neat thing about Facebook ads as well as Google ads, is that you can limit your spend every day. So you can say, I won't spend more than $5 a day, and I'll test it for 10 or 20 days and see what happens. And then you'll just decide what you're going to pay for the ad itself, to get it in front of people. But what you want to do and what you have to test in doing Facebook ads is, what is the message and graphic you use to get people to click through on that Facebook ad to get to where you get them to a page, either a book sales page, an information page, a sign up page, something like that. And then you have to check through to the full follow through. So, because I'm not going to spend ads anywhere if it doesn't pay off. And the neat thing about Facebook ads and Google ads is you can limit your ad spend, test it out, see if it's working, manipulate it, rewrite it, use a different graphic, send them to a different landing page, get them to like you on Facebook or versus something else, whatever it might be. You can test different things to see which ad works best. And you can do multiple ads at the same time. So you can be testing multiple different wordings and multiple graphic images, multiple landing pages, anything like that to see what's most effective, or if anything is. Now, quite honestly, most writers are not good ad writers. You can write a great book and not be somebody who can write a great ad. And if the ad doesn't sell people on clicking through, then that ad hasn't worked for you. And if they do click through and they don't buy, sign up, download the free report, whatever it is the action you're asking them to do, then again, it's not working for you. And let's say that they sign up for your newsletter and they don't buy from you ever again. They're just sort of on your list and that's it. Those people aren't necessarily the best people to have on your list. Right now, I have something like 38,000 people on my email list, but there's only about 2,000 of them that are really active. The rest of the people, I'm not sure why they're on the list other than to get the original free report on Facebook. And I'm going to have to change what I give away, because the Facebook report was written about 3 or 4 years ago, before a lot of things changed on Facebook. So I really need to make changes in that report or give away something else. But people join my list, 38,000 people, but not that many have bought from me based on that list and my emails that go out. And I'm curious about that, and it would be interesting. And maybe at some point I need to survey people to say, what do you want in my newsletter? I'm almost to the point I'm going, well, I'm not going to give away anything free anymore. I'm just going to advertise things, something like that. It's kind of frustrating when I've been giving away good free content for 15 years through email newsletters by now. And, I do get sales from it, but, it's not like people are knocking on my door to buy from me based on what goes in my newsletter. And that's kind of sad. And I don't know if that's because I sold them on the newsletter in a funny way, or if it's because, people don't want to buy anything, and that's fine. I don't mind if people don't want to buy things. That's perfectly their right, and every author needs to have a newsletter and then decide how they want to use that newsletter to encourage people to buy and read their books. Because that's the primary purpose that you have for a newsletter, is you're hoping people at some point will buy your next book and so on. Now, it's amazing that I have 38,000 readers, and, I've sold, 500 copies of the new edition of 1,001 Ways to Market Your Books, Real World Edition. And I'm going, but they've got to be mainly authors and publishers who have signed up from my list. Why aren't the other 37,500 stampeding through my doorway to get my book? And now some people, I know, I understand, they already have a previous edition and they say, well, I'll wait for the digital world edition to come out because that's going to be all about online marketing and mobile marketing and social media. And that's what I really want to know. And to some extent, I understand that. And that's why I'm, feverishly working on that. Um, because, that's coming up. I'm just checking the time, so make sure that we still have time. Now, next week, I am going to be promoting two webinars. One is on the program that Daniel Hall and I are doing called the 1001 Ways to Market Your Books Masterclass. And there's some really good new content in that masterclass, and we're going to be promoting it next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Eastern Time in a live webinar. And then on Thursday, John Rhodes is going to present a webinar on his K-Profits program, Kindle Profits program. And from what he told me about it, it sounds like a really interesting program that I think a lot of you would be interested in. That's why I'm doing it. Now, I might make some money on it, but, I only share things, links to things that you might want to buy that I think you might want to buy because they're good in some way. And they might fill your needs absolutely and perfectly fine. So that's why they go in my newsletter, even though my newsletter is not, I know quite a few internet marketers that, they send out an email every day and it's all about some new program, something new to buy, something here, over and over and over again. I don't like doing that. I'd rather give you some good content and then let you know about things I think are worthwhile buying. But again, I don't expect all 38,000 people to go get 1,001 Ways to Market Your Books Masterclass, or all 38,000 to go and get John Rhodes' Kindle Profits program. It would be nice. I mean, I could retire then, but it's not likely to happen because I think even as most direct marketers would tell you, a 1% to 2% response is actually a pretty good response on a direct mail letter. So even if you get that much, you feel happy. In the 30,000, and quite honestly, a direct mail printed letter sent to the first class mail might get somewhere between 2% and 5% response, but an email promotion will get probably 1% of that. Or 10% of that, somewhere between 1% and 10%. So, and that's been the kinds of experiences that people have reported to me for the most part, is that you can expect it if you're mailing to, like in my case, 38,000 people, that if you're selling, a program, you might get anywhere from 1 to 30 people buying, but probably not more than that. Except if it's really something that's just knocking on people's doors and it's something that people say, wow, I've got to have this. And, that's sort of what Daniel and I are trying to create with the 1001 Ways to Market Your Books Masterclass. But, this is the first time we're going to be presenting it as a live webinar, so it'll be interesting to see what we come up with, in terms of promoting that, because that's next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and that'll be via a webinar, and I'll let you know in the email newsletter. And then again, Thursday at 8 for John Rhodes' Kindle Profits program. He's got some really interesting stuff there, and I think you'll benefit from just listening in on either one of the webinars, even if you don't buy the programs, because I think any good sales program has good information offered up front. You don't hide it away. You give away a lot of good content. If you've ever watched Jeff Walker promote his product launch formula, you'll see that he shares 3 really useful, incredibly detailed videos before he goes to the sales pitch and says, "Hey, buy my $2,000 product," or whatever it is. I love just watching his promotional videos, and I get stuff out of it every time I watch it, even though they're fairly the same over the past 3 or 4 years. I still get value from it, and it reminds me of things that I need to do and should be doing, et cetera, et cetera. I haven't bought his program yet. I have sold it to other people because I know people who have bought it and used it and had it be incredibly effective for them. So, that to me is a gold mine. Even if only 1 or 2 people will benefit from something, I'm still going to let people know about it because that's what I do. Is there anybody that still has a question? Again, you can, let's see, I'm going to try to write this down if I can get to it. I can. There we go. Ask a question by commenting below. I sort of like using Be Live. I'm not always clear on everything that it does and how it works, but the neat thing is I can do it from my computer, so I can be, doing some of the things, and I can even actually share my screen if I ever did a Q&A where I wanted to be able to share the screen. But you have to make the choice. Do I share my screen? Do I let the people see my beautiful face? Or do I, do something? Well, those are the 2 main options. And then, you have to decide how you want to present. When Daniel and I do our webinars, we tend to use screen sharing because we're doing the presentation from a what is that program called? PowerPoint slides, and it's because of the PowerPoint slides that you can give a lot more detail. I like doing the Facebook Live where it's me, because I hopefully that's making you feel more comfortable with me. Maybe you want to share things with me. Maybe it's more interactive, things like that. She doesn't see a way to sign up for notifications on Be Live. You can always sign up. All of my Facebook Live promotions that I do are done through my Facebook page at book.marketing.bestsellers. Facebook.com/book.marketing.bestsellers. So if you sign up to follow that page, you'll get the notifications. Again, I'm also trying to email before I do a Be Live, Facebook Live event to give people an opportunity. Now we're coming up on the 45 minutes, so we may just get kicked off at some point. Actually, why don't we officially end, and that way it'll be very clean kickoff. Tomorrow at 6:30 in the morning at Mountain Time, I'm celebrating New Year's with my friend and client Leo Coster in Australia, because it will be midnight in Australia, his time, when it's 6:30 a.m. my time. So I'm going to be getting up early tomorrow and coming here to do a Be Live event. And again, and I shared where you needed to follow Leo Coster's page in order to be notified. But maybe tomorrow, right beforehand, I will do it, and something in the book marketing success saying, go here to follow, to join in on the celebration. And it's really fun working with Louis Costa. I think I said Leo, but it's Louis. He's a doctor. He was Doctors Without Borders for many years, and now he's in Australia working in a gold mining camp when he's not at home. And he's doing this wonderful thing called the Talking Diary. And it's really interesting because he's exploring how thoughts arise and how to follow them through their arising in a sense. And it's just inspiring to watch his thought process. So I've been really enjoying working with him. But we're going to do a New Year's celebration. And if you join in, you can ask questions because I think you can ask questions. I'm pretty sure you can ask questions. And both Louis and I will be doing what's called in BLive.tv a face-to-face. So you'll see both of us lovely smiling faces celebrating New Year's and hoping to celebrate it with you. In this case, almost 18 hours early because it'll be 6:30 Mountain Time in the morning, 8:30 in New York, but it'll be midnight in Australia. So I hope to see some of you there. And in the meantime, please show up when I have another one. And again, you can send questions ahead of time. And I like having a few questions ahead of time because that way I have something to talk about. Otherwise, I talk about what I want to talk about, but I'd rather talk about the things that you're really concerned about. So thanks for coming and see you next time.